Major institution in rural society. They recognized five basic institutions in both rural and urban societies are family, religion, economy, government, education. Family. The family is the most multifunctional of all institutions in the society and is a system of organized relationship involving workable and dependable way of meeting basic social need. Specifically, the family fulfill the following tasks in society: reproduction and perpetuation of the family and human race, socialization, economic maintenance and livelihood, provision of love, affection, and security to the individual, and provision of status to the individual of the family into which he or she has been born. Secondary institution, engagement, marriage, courtship, and relationship with the family into which marriage has taken place. The family has tremendous influence on the individual, his or her behavior and their action, for it molds them from infancy and has significant influence on the development of one's personalities. Religion. Religion. Human beings have short answer to question concerning the mysterious of his own creation, his relationship to the supernatural, a satisfying philosophy of life and life after death. A category of individuals who devote their specific attention to these matters as intermediators and religious guide have been built and ceremonies performed. Most religions of the world have the following element: a set of belief regarding the ultimate power in the universe, a set of belief regarding the ideal and proper pattern of behavior, a set of ceremonial way of expressing these beliefs. A further function of religion is to provide a mean whereby man can face the carriages and unpredictable changes of fortune of life with strength and courage. Secondary institution of religion, form of worship and organized group for propagating religion. Government. Government, also referred to as political institution, government administered the regulatory functions of law and order and maintenance security in society. It provided means for regulating the behavior of individual within society in accordance with required norms and protection from external aggregation. The other functions of government are providing formal education, physical protection for home and health, fixation for price and other necessities. But in general, the scope of functions of government is unlimited. Secondary institution, defense, legal, military, homes, affair, etc. Economy. These institutions provide basic physical substance for society and meet basic need for food, shelter, and clothing and other necessities. Example: the economy institution of production are agriculture, industry, and the distribution, exchange, and consumption for of commodities, goods, and services necessary for human survival. Secondary institution, credit and banking system, advertising, cooperative, etc. Education. Educational institutions are those which seek to socialize individuals in society or introduce them in formal way into their social and cultural world. Education as an institution in various parts of the world seek to fulfill its functions of transmission of cultural heritage, social integration of society by molding an individual to conform with norms, socialization, and personal development in various form and in various way that are social acceptable and cultural defined. This major institution is of tremendous influence on the behavior of rural people, their interrelationship and the molding of behavior of people, their interrelationship and molding individual as well as group behavior and personalities of both. Function and structure element. Institution function, major role, physical trait, symbiotic trait. Family, basic social institution providing for procreation, upbringing, and socialization of the children. It provides of security, love, and affection to the family member. Father and mother, child, house furnishings, wedding ring, will. Economy. Economy institution provide basic physical need for food, shelter, clothing, and other necessary supply and services. It include agriculture, industry, marketing, credit, and banking system cooperative. Employer, employee, producer, consumer. Factory, office, store, go down. Merit, awards, emblem, trademark. Political. Political. Political institutions administer the regulatory functions of law and order and maintain security in the society. Administrator, policymakers, public buildings, public work, flag courts, charters. Religion promote cooperative attitude, faith for charity. Religion provides a means by which individual can face crises and ups and down in life with strength and fortitude. Religious leader, temple, church, mass, Bible, Bhagavad Gita, Quran. Education, educational institution bring the socialization. They keep develop knowledge, skill, attitude, and understanding of the people. Teacher and student, college, school, books, degree and diploma. Difference in livestock production practices. Difference in livestock production practices. Difference exists between rural, urban, and tribal area in the animal rearing pattern. This difference stems from the purpose for which the animal are being reared. The table below exhibit the difference in livestock production practices among rural, urban, and tribal community. This difference from the basics for the extension agent to develop suitable programs which address differential need of the society. Particular rural, urban, tribal purpose, economic as well as social or religion, primarily economy, way of life. Number of animal house, less 2 3, more 5, less 3. Quality of animal, predominantly indigenous, predominantly crossbreed, indigenous or nondescript. Productivity of animal, low to medium, medium to high, very low. Dry and wet ratio, high, low, high. Animal shed, open yard, mostly puka, open yard. Feeding, mostly grazing, mostly stall feeding, grazing. Type of feed, dry green fodder with little or no concentrate, dry fodder with little or no green fodder concentrate feeding common, green grasses. Management, less scientific to a greater extent scientific, not scientific. Adoption of technology to low level, early adoption, no adoption, scientific. Improve productivity of animal practices, adopt traditional practices. Cost of production kg per meal or meat, low, high, merge. Occupation, traditional, entrepreneurial, traditional. Profit or unit of milk or meat sold, marginal or nil, high, marginal or nil. Sentimental attachment with animal, very much percent, not to the extent as in the rural area, very much percent. Person involved in the maintenance of animal, all member of the family or part-time, specific person as full-time job, all member of the family. Marketing, own use or vendor or cooperative, private, own use at time, do not milk the animal. Need to study the process and social changes. Need to study the process of social changes. Sociologists and anthropology during the end of 19th century were involved in research per- pertaining to the performance of society from their original primitive form. The, per, the formation of colonialism in 17th and 18th century followed by democratic institution industrialization and emerge of democratic institution in the 19th century made the sociology to work on the onset of this change. The First World War, which took place in Europe, the tremendous community revolution in Russia, the Second World War 1939 to 1945, and the formation of new states like India in 1947 saw the emergence of newer problem of social changes and development. Many erstwhile colonies have become independent states and have accepted modern economic organization by industrialization so as to increase their standard for living. This change have encouraged sociologists to engage in the study of social changes. In India, the task of changing from agriculture to industrial society, from colonial to republican society, and a society based on caste and class to a society which aims to be casteless and classless with equal opportunity is looked upon. Hence, it is necessary to study how the transformation and analyze the nature of resistance slowing down the process of transformation. Factor of social changes. Factor of social changes. Our societies are characterized both by continuity and change. Continuity is maintained by social control, particular by the method which transmit the accumulate social heritage to the new organization. Example method in child rearing, education, etc. Many factors influence social change. Each of these factors are discussed for the purpose of clarity and understanding. However, it must be made clear that each of these factors cannot influence social changes independently to other factors. The following are the factors influencing the social changes: demographic factor, technological factor, economical factor, cultural factor, legislation, planning, education. Demographic factor. Demographic factor, the change in the size and the composition of the population is an important factor leading to social change. The expanding population bring about many changes in the nation's economy. It is in position to produce more, consumer more, and also engage in better trade. Similarly, as the composition of population change rapidly, social change are likely to occur. Example: population of minority community increases compared to majority. Advances in science and technology indirectly boost world population by delaying death. Population growth appears to pass through a series of three stages. There is a period of high birth rate and high death rate leading to a small increase in population. The was characteristic of all parts of the world in the middle of 19th century. High birth rate with low death rate leading to population explosion. Characteristic feature in all countries, especially in Africa and Asia. Low birth rate and low death rate leading to population stabilization. Characteristic of the existing nature in Europe and US. The demographic trend accelerated the economic growth, increased industrial production. However, there has been no decrease in poverty. In other words, the increase in population trend has served as an inhibiting factor and has preserved social change in the country. Hence, small family norms has been advanced in all sections of the society. Also, the value of late marriage which help to complete their education and training and earn enough to provide reasonable standard of comfort education, etc. to their children. Thus, in order to bring about social change towards increased productivity and improvement in standard of living, family limitation program are to be followed in a deliberated manner. Technological factor. Technological factor. Many social thinkers have felt that technological invention is the primary factor in explaining social and cultural changes. The invention of wheel, the pot, the compass, the printing press, the steam engine, the telephone, the motor car, radio, aeroplane, atom bomb, computer, cell phone, etc. have brought many changes in the society. Also, technological development have brought about many changes in attitude, belief, and even in tradition. The establishment of industry, railway, bus service, restaurant, etc. have brought about change with respect to caste and class behavior. People of various caste work side by side in the modern working atmosphere. Milk producers stand in equity to pour the milk in a dairy cooperative society in inorging their caste, create status, etc. Technological advancement pushes India to number one milk producer, third in egg production in the world. Technology also bring in negative consequences. Example, introduction of exotic germ plots led to decrease in disease resistance, elimination of indigenous breed. Economic factor. The economic interpretation of social change is closely associated with Karl Marx. He envisages the finding a classes society has to emerge in which no one owns anything and everyone owns everything. In other words, it is total abolition of the institution of poverty. For analytical purpose, we can distinguish five types of economy. Tribal economy. Over 20 million tribal people live in three broad regions of our country. The peasant economy. Nearly 65% for people live in village. Agriculture is the mainstay of the rural economy, and so the entire economy and social structure revolve from it. The pre-industrial urban economy, industrial economy, corporate economy. Thus, Indian economy should overcome poverty and have a balanced coexistence of all the type of economy with increased production, which would increase employment, particularly in the rural area. Cultural factor. Culture is the main cause of social change. Contact with other culture bring about change such as assimilation, borrowing from other culture, combining of culture factor into new form. All of these interplay in the process of social change. The change in the condition of life have also influenced change in value, attitude, belief, and habit. An individual status today is not determined by birth. The principal determinant of status today is the position of wealth and of the power. Legislation as a factor of social change. Legislation as a factor of social change. The function of law is to influence the group and person belonging to a society to conform to the group expectation. In olden days, the kind administered Dharam Sastras. Law is an instrument of social change. Example, Untouchability Act 1955, Prohibition against alcohol, Law against cow slaughter, Prevention of Food Adulteration Act, planning as a planning as a factor of social change. Social change could be planned or implemented. Planning involves deliberated thinking, deliberate action, and evaluation to assess the extent of change in the society. Hence, for effective planning, we should understand the present and in its relationship to the past and future trend. Example, 5-year plan. Unplanned change occurring in society due to natural factors such as cyclones, earthquake, flood, tsunami, etc. Education as a factor for social change. Education as a factor of social change. The aim of education is to transmit the knowledge, skill, and attitude inherited from the past. There is an urgent need to make the population totally literate, making primary education compulsory. More day meal scheme introduced by certain state government is an effort to reduce dropout in school. Education also develop a favorable and receptive attitude towards social change. The focus is on improvement on the social and personal living. The it include teaching about health, education, agriculture, and other cottage industry for school dropout, student, parent, etc. Education is expected to bring about breakthrough. The government of India has brought in right to education as an important act to make education compulsory for all children. Characteristics of social group. A group should consist of at least two persons. Communication and interaction which is reciprocal physical proximity is not a determining factor in group formation. Groups may be long-lived, permanent, or of belief duration temporary. Common interests, shared value, and norms are important ingredients in many social groups. At times, people of divergent interest and cultural breakdown may from group. Formation of group may be based on various kind of situations that cause people to unite. Blood relation, marriage, similarity in religion, and magical belief. Similarity in language, common responsibility, mutual aid, use of social process in adjusting to each other. Common terms. An aggregation is collectivity of persons who are held together in physical sense other than intercommunication. A category is a number of persons who can be thought of as a unit whether or not they are communicating or interacting with one another. All group are categories but not all category all group. A crowd is a temporary collection of people reacting to stimuli. A crowd consists of a number of people with focused attention, physical presence at a particular place, and affinity between the members, creating cohesiveness, impersonality, and anonymous, heterogeneity, and impermanency of composition. Emotional build up that can be transmitted from one member to another. Integration of cohesiveness. Group are to satisfy human need both physiological as well as psychological. Group stability and endurance reset on cohesiveness or integration. Group cohesiveness depend upon homogeneity of the group, size of group, physical mobility, effectiveness of communication. Types of group. Types of group. There are several classifications of social group depending mostly upon the chief interested or focus of attention in terms of which social group are classified. The following are some of the important classification: primary and secondary groups, formal and informal group, in-group and out-group, involuntary and voluntary group, delegate and reference group. Primary and secondary group. Primary group are characterized by intimate face-to-face interaction, informal personal relationship, and a defined feeding on the part of the members. Primary group have a short of permanency, are small in size, and have the responsibility to socialize the individual, example family. Secondary group are characterized by formal, contractual, utili, uti, utilitarian, and goal-oriented relationship. Secondary group are large in size, have little face-to-face communication, and maintains a more or less anonymous relationship. Example: political party, cooperative society, club, etc. Formal and informal group. Formal group are organized, have a membership, role, definite rule or producer of operation, and rigidity and forced behavior of its member. Example: panchayat, registered societies, etc. Informal group are not formally organized, and rules and producer are not rigidly enforced. Example: friendship group, play group, etc. In group and out group. In group is one to which the person feel they belong and with which they identify themselves strongly. Not only they themselves, but others also feel them to be an integral part of the group. Matters of vital interest to the group are confined with the group. Out group is one with which other individual cannot identify themselves. The individual feel themselves as outsider to the group, and the group also have a similar reciprocal feeling towards the individual. Matter of vital interest are not shared with the out group member. Involuntary and voluntary group. Involuntary group is one for the membership of which an individual does not have any choice or is not required to put any effort. Example: membership by birth or residence, such as family, caste, etc. Voluntary group is one of the membership of which one has to have some deliberate choice or put in some conscious effort. Example: cooperative society, youth club, etc. Delegate and delegate and reference group. Delegate and reference group. The selected member represent the group. Delegate group member representative of an chosen by group. Example: United Nation Federation. Reference group an individual feel identify and may refer to in taking decision and action. When and how to organize a group. A group may be organized at any time when some individuals feel that there is a need that cannot be satisfied individually and there is no group already in existence to meet the need. A group may be organized even if similar groups are located elsewhere or these cannot serve their interest. A group may be organized with or without a stimulus from outside. In organizing group for action, the need, interest, and goal of the individual are to be made sub subservient and channeled to the need, interest, and goal for the group. A minimum amount of cooperation amongst the group member is essential to hold the group together and act as a unit. In a democratic group, decisions are generally based on majority opinion. Compromising decision or decision by consensus may sometimes be required to make to avoid conflict situation in the group. The group process is as important as the group decision. Social status.